Hello.
Hey, okay.
Hello.
Just a little tiny bit late. Buddy.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to put your audio up somehow.
Okay, bear with. I'll try and tweak it in this end as well.
Is my microphone?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, sweet. Right, everybody on?
Are we are we
Yeah.
live?
We are indeed live. I'm just gonna do the same usual thing. Gonna pop on to my Twitch, make sure we're running okay, and tell everybody in the group. But we are live, yes.
Awesome. Right.
Brilliant. Sweet.
You excited, John?
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to get
You're,
into it.
you're usually so quiet in the group. Now you finally get a chance to really.
Yeah, I don't really feel like my kind of personality shine through in the group.
You don't think so, no?
No, I'm
I
kind
think
of I try to be mild mannered.
I
Mild
was going to say
mannered.
my biggest worry for you, John, is that your personality has exactly shined through in the group.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
we should
non-football
be
related, how
live.
are we?
Good. 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 Back to normal. Out isolation can, actually go to the shop
I love that.
and
Out of
go outside for a
isolation,
walk.
so what can you do now? Go to the shop.
Yeah, can go for walks.
Yeah,
That's
could do
my
the
main
two
thing.
things I was doing before. It's shy, isn't it? But
Yeah.
oh, well, no, that's good. That's good, man. I'm glad you're feeling better and all good to
How
go.
yous?
Yeah, not too bad.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Buzzing to have you in the podcast. I think outside of Zach, you're the guy that I really wanted to get on just to chat shit with.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh,
I'm
psyched.
excited.
First of all, it's really funny for us to take the piss out of you in the group for being 8-1-1, but you've got 8.5 wins through 10 games. That's pretty good. Only you're so it's sensationally brilliant all the other times. This looks like a down year, but it's still a half decent record. Like,
This is the whole Belichick thing of you're only bad when you compare yourself to yourself.
Mhm.
Like,
I'm.
comparing if anybody else was 8-1-1, we wouldn't think anything of it.
Mhm. I
Well,
know.
Nick's 8-2, and I'm about to herald him as legendary in a wee minute. But
Well, I think Nick. I'm actually very very excited to play Nick. I think I'm playing this week.
just a quick question here. We got some from the phone in line here. We're being asked about
Uh
the
huh.
AFC title picture. What are you doing in that picture? I would swing a dig that you were catching a PAT because you were
I
a points machine when you played for
there
us. But you don't have a flag
there's
on. I've just noticed that as well.
Do I not have a flag? Oh, I don't have a flag. I have been flagged. Great catch. Right. I'm mossing the pylon, so it's good.
It is a great catch, which
But
is
there's
probably why James
there's
Cameron
one that
needs
looks like
clarification
I'm
on it.
genuinely about to throw it. The one you used for the picture last year. There's one where I genuinely look like I'm a QB.
Yeah, yeah, they were using it for just like Colin Cowher talking about ESPN, the old place. The old place were using it for a tryouts poster, I'm pretty sure. Oh, speaking of, I didn't even introduce the show yet. Bam, bam, bam. This is not the herd, right? So let's go. First of all, we got a load of topics, loads of topics to get through. Just like whenever we did it with Zach, I got topics coming out of my ears, and I'm like, I need to hear this guy talk about this. So, as I already alluded to, John, this is not going to be like you're not 9-1. You're 8-1-1. There are three teams that
Mhm.
are 9-1, and I want you to tell me
Yeah.
which ones are for real and which ones are not for real. They can all be
Okay.
they can all be real, and they can all
Okay.
be completely faking it. So it's the Saints, the
Mhm.
Bears, and the Broncos are all 9-1, but obviously it's highly unlikely all three of them make title games because that would mean that Zach and you would miss out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say every single season,
Hmm.
Saints are for real. Saints are for real.
I hope you're sitting down,
You
Adam.
know, he tight. Like I don't think that surprises anyone. You know, I think everybody's got a lot better at like this in their second season. These newcomers, but still the person I want to play, but I'm still apprehensive about playing. Would be Adam because he's very very good. Broncos. I'm not 100% on the Broncos. You know, they're shaky. They were shaky there in
They
their win
are
against.
they are a one seed that doesn't feel like a one seed.
Well, there were one
And
seed that were
they're
what,
ahead of me.
17-3
They beat
down.
me to the 1 seed. I could have nicked ahead of them with a win if Stoops got the win. But
Yep.
even still, I if you see me worried about Adam, it's because I'm actually already looking past the Broncos in the title game. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So to me, they're not really a threat. And then the Bears. The Bears. The the I just applaud Niall for becoming 9-1. No, he stopped the stupid mistakes that he usually has against the CPU that would bring him down to, in a hot seat in those early weeks. So I'm sure it'll be nice for him not to scramble at the end of the season to try to make the playoffs or try to win the division. I think he's probably got this wrapped up in the next 2-3 weeks.
My
So,
favorite thing
that'll
about
be
that
good.
that Bears team in terms of people's perspective on them, I put up the picture of the right. First of all, just to go off on a tangent here that the three of us will all really dig. That's the best triple threat match ever, right? Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and redacted wrestler. I think it's an amazing match at
Yeah.
WrestleMania 20. Unreal. But there's a comment that Mitch Trubisky looks really smug in the photo, and I'm like, see if Niall wins 2 games now, the next two, he's the 1 seed and should be the smuggest fucker in the league because like he's got a shot. Like anybody's got a puncher's chance of winning a game, but he beat Adam the last time they met, and his team's a lot better than when it last met Zach. I made it a triple threat poster because a lot of people are writing him off and being like, "There's no way he can do it." He can. If he wins the next two, he's the 1 seed. He gets a bye. Niall's never had a bye before. He'd be flying. But just on I think it was Adam said it, that he looked kind of smug, Mitch that is, in the group, and I'm like, he could have every right to be.
Not like if Trubisky had a very very bad season and Herbert was still going undefeated, Niall would be in a very very bad position. But he's 9-1. He it looks like the trade worked out for both parties.
I was gonna say Herbert's really outplayed Trubisky, but whenever you look at it, if the Bears are 9-1, did they really lose out in the trade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll find out in the next 7 days who the trade worked out best for.
Is that who are they playing each other?
They meet each other this week. They're the double header, them and you and Nick. It's literally the spiciest PvP week of the season.
Oh, and we're getting into that. Yeah, we're talking about that.
We're just about to. So Daniel, if you want to weigh in on those 9-1 teams at all before I move on,
Saints are legit.
I'm pretty much
Yeah.
in the same bet
not
as
a
John on
debate.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, Saints are legit.
Broncos had a wobble this
Ma-
week.
Niall is the most legit. He's the Bears are the most legit they've been.
Yes,
I wouldn't say they're completely legit, but they're the most legit they've been.
Don't forget he went to the bowl last year and he was 10-6. He's 9-1. This is the most legit that Bears team has been.
Yeah.
I don't know if the
If he
Bears
gets a
are
bye
legit.
against a CPU team, or if the playoff run in is against CPU teams, I think he's just done enough to really kind of just see him into the divisional, even into the conference.
Well, that's
I'll
what I'm
be
saying.
honest, I'll tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I'll know if the Bears are legit until after the next 2 games.
This one's big.
9-3. By the way, if he loses both of them, 9-3 is a really good record. That's basically what Nick's 8-2. That's basically what Nick's on.
But it's 9-2 with losses to both the 1 and 2 seed then in the NFC.
It's 9 CPU wins and 3 head-to-head losses. You're just James Earls in a darker uni at that stage, and that would worry me because James Earls is not legit. No offense to him. I'm going to give him praise later, but he's not a legit team. Now that said,
He doesn't
Niall
feel
can
like
lose.
he's a contender this year.
If the Bears lose both those games by like a field goal, there's a case for him to be legit, but he can't get his eye wiped in both. I never thought he was in the Dallas game at all. But as a bad, I still feel like they're more legit than the Broncos. The Broncos worried me. The Broncos made Stoops look like a Pro Bowl team. And he's not.
It depends
Stoops like
what
a
the Broncos
PvP
are
player.
playing.
Stoops is a lethal PvP player, to be fair. and Stoops should have killed him off. It was 17-3 at one point.
And he kicked as well late. I thought he was gonna, like he did everything he needed to do even late, and it was just that
I
pick. And
I know.
there was mistakes there that
I got a lot of
I think
praise and credit to give out to a lot of teams this week. Very little I'm going to criticize. Thought it was a great week
if you
for all of you.
The
if
Broncos game felt very much like the Broncos allowed the Cardinals to win it for them rather than the Broncos actually. It's
Yeah,
not like James
the
Cameron
Broncos
scored 3 touchdowns in back-to-back drives,
didn't run a play in overtime and didn't really impress me at all at any point in the game. Apart from defensively, but I'll get on to that. Anyway, yes, our next topic is to review the Broncos-Cardinals game and to preview the Giants-Bears game.
Okay.
So let's just, while I keep myself right here, let's continue to talk about that game, actually. I thought both guys were outstanding defensively. It's really rare that Stoops is in a PvP game where you should have bet the under. And you really should have bet the under, anybody didn't. What was it, total points is 40. I think the over-under, and it was like 50 and a half. James Cameron surprised me defensively. He had clearly watched a game or two of Stoops' tape. Anytime Isabella went in motion or anytime Mark Andrews was in the weak side, James Cameron knew
That's the problem
exactly
with
what
that
it was going
Cardinals
to be.
playbook.
Yeah.
There's tails in those plays.
Also, the coaching suggestions seem to fuck him over, and I think it's because of the playbook. Because all the rest of you use coaching suggestions at various times, but for some reason, Daniel will swear blind to this as well. It seems to just give Stoops a halfback draw. It doesn't matter what the down and distance is. It's like, here, mate, do a draw, and it's never needed, and it never works.
No.
Yes, he draws
kinda
probably more than any other team in the league, and he probably has more unsuccessful draws than any other team ever.
He definitely has more unsuccessful draws.
It is awful.
Broncos ran the outside zone well against Stoops, but
Yes,
well,
they
which
did.
I didn't think because there was talk about would you be able to run that back to back against a player team, and credit to James Cameron, he was. I think he punched it in on one of them in a outside zone. So
The best two outside zones that I've ever seen, like in a player game, Zach outside zoned Adam to death last year, and Adam wasn't expecting it at all because, to be fair to Adam, he just played in 7 years in the league and no one had ever ran outside zone against him. And John, this was always going to be brought up at some point. Remember you lost to Daniel?
yeah,
Did I?
Yeah, but he scored like 29 points in you, Dan, and I thought he outside zoned you to death as well for the majority of that game. His Falcons and Zach's Giants are amazing at it.
29 is such a weird number. I wonder how I got to 29.
Don't know, it feels like 1 point fewer more than you probably should have had.
All I know is it didn't get to 30.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be fair, yeah, me and Ian had played a load of offline CFMs and stuff before I came into the CFM, and I'd never had anybody run the ball on me like John did.
Yeah, right?
That Freeman that year was good. Like,
Yeah. And it was the same as Barkley last year against Adam, and a little bit the same as what James was able to do there in terms
when
of...
you haven't played a running back like that, it's just impossible. You can't adapt it in 4 quarters. It's just
Another thing, like this, James Cameron deserves all the credit in the world. He ran with Barry B. Benson probably more than he ever has before, because the last 2 weeks, the Chargers and the Chiefs have ran all over Stoops with a quarterback. Stoops can't cope with a running quarterback, and that secret is out now. That's public. Mm-hmm. And James Cameron knew exactly what he needed to do when he needed to do it. The fact it went to overtime was that he didn't start playing until the 4th quarter. Again, that sounds like we're just laying into Stoops. I thought Stoops was 17-3 up in the 1 seed of the AFC. I thought Stoops played outstanding for 3/4 of the game.
I feel if James Cameron had played his best, it probably wouldn't have went to overtime.
Right? So why didn't he? This is the legit thing. You gotta bring it.
Thing, yeah. You can say all you want about, he didn't play his best, but if he doesn't play his best in the AFC title weekend, he's going to get fucking smacked. So it's not going to matter.
Before we preview Giants Bears, this is where I wanted to do my quick shout-outs, right? Very important things. One, shout out to James Earls and Nick. I criticised James Earls for the last 3 games. He's allowed like 3. He allowed 3, he allowed 6, and he allowed 10, I think. No, 7 again. He's never allowed more than 7 to the CPU. And that means he's allowed to play shit in offense and get away with it. Indianapolis scored 24 points and took him to overtime. James, if your offense was bad, you would not have won that game. So fair play for actually scoring more than like 14 points in a week. It was I'm not having a dig. Really good, really good. Same with Nick. Nick's last 3 games, but by the way, no, not last 4. He's 3-1 in his last 4 before this week. He scored 14-1, 13-1, 13-1, and 13 and lost. Nick hasn't scored more than 2 touchdowns since week 4, and he absolutely destroyed. A big praise for the G-men. Surprise, surprise, I also have big praise for Houston as well. I said this is the tough part of the league. This is the weeks 11, 12, 13, 14, where people will drop CPU games and people will win games by a hair's width. The margin of victory has gone way down, way down. Adam won a game by 11. Niall won by a score. James won by a score in overtime. Other James won by a score in overtime. But the big margin of victory that I wanted to point out, John won by 17, and the Jags were never close. The Giants won 36-5 against a 500 team who had a winning record before the game. Like,
Jesus.
He's just not going to slow down at all, and it's frightening. Right, Giants Bears, the Herb Bowl, if you will, for Adam. Thoughts? Because the big poster that I made means nothing if Zach wins, because Zach's basically got the 1 seed then.
I'm going to defer to you first.
I'll not talk too much about score because it's part of the Blazing 5 later on, and we've got to call who we think's going to win.
Yeah.
But to preview the game, I have too much faith in Niall. I do not think that Zach is going to be able to run for 100 yards on 20 carries or whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. Niall's D is too good at not allowing that.
Somebody quit that.
It's a bit sus in the last couple of weeks because Nakobe Dean literally only tackles air. And
Sorry, no, me saying it was a bit sus was you saying Niall's D is too good.
I mean,
I was calling you gay.
Right, okay, cool. No worries.
Sorry, just
I
putting
forgot.
that out there.
Sus means gay. Sorry, I forgot
This
to
is
get
my favourite episode of all time.
Okay.
Niall is not gonna let no. Niall is not gonna let people run all over him. Now, he did last year when Zach played him, but so did Adam. Zach's not a surprise anymore. My big issue for Niall, and it's the 2 issues that he has on D, his defense is perfect, bar 2 issues. One, Nakobe Dean could only tackle air. For the last 3 weeks, he's literally my defensive rookie of the year, and now that's in question because he couldn't tackle himself. He just can't tackle anybody in open space, and if he does that, Barkley will murder him. And the backside corner, whoever plays against the X receiver is giving up a touchdown per game in the first quarter, every time. So help him out for the first quarter of the game. They're simple corrections. Can he hold Zach to points? That's the question. Because James Earls proved you can score on Zach. But can you hold Zach to points? Because James did. I think he made Zach punt maybe once and didn't turn the ball over as far as I remember.
Niall is good for making people settle for 3, but
yes, exactly. Niall lets you into. He welcomes you into his 30-yard line and then puts the tanks up.
His red zone D is very, very good.
yeah. So if he can punch a few balls in. I think he has a chance. Good chance.
I'm gonna tell anybody that picks the Bears to win this game is not stupid. Zach's red zone O is questionable. Zach loves a touchdown from 80 yards out. Niall will not give you that.
It's quite similar to how you beat my Bengals in the title game.
Do you know that's a great comparison? That's literally what I'm thinking of.
Neither of my touchdowns against you came from inside the 20. They were both like 35-yard strikes. Because when I got into the 20, I got into the red zone twice. Once I turned the ball over, the other time I had to settle for a field goal.
Yes. Niall,
Because
exactly. You have to score 90-yard touchdowns on Niall because when you get into the 10-yard line, Barkley's going to get nothing and he's going to post up a tight end and you're going to have to throw to people you don't want to throw to.
It makes it very, very difficult to force the ball in from like the 7 or the 8. Yeah. Once you get that first and goal, you really start to struggle on what to call there.
Yeah.
Especially with that offense, it's a very speed-based offense. It's hard to utilize that speed. It's slightly easier in real life because you can get Tariq Hill running those motions and stuff. But
the Giants haven't lost a game and are favourites, and the Vegas line or the not Vegas line will reflect that. But anyone who picks Niall is not mad. He has more than of a chance than you think.
Yeah,
in that game.
he has more than a puncher's chance at it.
Massively.
Yeah.
John, fire away.
It just. I think.
It's great because they're both NFC teams, so you've no bias.
How's like Zach running it? Is Barkley's running it well? Is Barkley still?
Barkley's doing well. I don't want to pigeonhole him that Barkley's like 99 overall and that's why he's doing really well. His O-line's good. He can run it a variety of different ways, and he's got multiple backs. Larry Roundtree would start in a lot of other teams. Like, it's a good backfield.
Well, I think unlike you know, like we know from experience of playing myself and Adam that Niall really likes to shut down certain aspects of uh, a player's game and gets criticised for it when he still lets 26 points in. But I think if he just commits to making Zach throw it, he might. I think that's a quite a good game plan going in.
That's my key to the game, John. Justin Herbert is sacked way more than anybody actually thinks. He has got to make Herbert stand and hold the ball. Niall, we've all played him.
If Niall wins this game, by the way, off Herbert's late release,
He deserves a plaque.
I'll probably piss myself.
Niall is a bastard to play, whether it's regular season week 1 or the divisional round. He's a nightmare
I knew
to play.
fine well Niall was going to get called a bastard on this podcast, but I genuinely didn't think it would be by you.
It's out of context, isn't it? It feels really weird. No,
Yeah.
he's really annoying to play, in a good way for him. Zach is 10-0. That's the scary thing. Zach's 10-0 and scores 40 points a game. Zach is used to having his own way. I haven't seen Zach in a game this year. It's not Zach's fault. It's the opposition's fault. I haven't seen Zach this year have to go off script at all.
Yeah,
Everything goes his way, and it won't this weekend. So they are the most legit 11-0 team of all time if they win it.
He's played CPU teams and James. Is that correct?
Yes, he's played James twice and 8 CPU games.
Yeah. So like, no offense to James Earls, but like Zach, is breezing past CPU teams and James, and like that was my problem last year. Was like going into that AFC final, I was like, James Cameron just completely shocked me because I hadn't played a player team.
You hadn't been tested in about 15 weeks.
Yeah, so this is the issue for Zach. He's used to just imposing his will on a CPU team, but I don't think Niall's going to allow that.
No, Zach. There's no chance that Zach wins this game by imposing his will on Niall. There are ways to win this game for both people, but he's not. I'm telling you now, I'll have egg on my face. I don't think Zach beats him like 40-12. I cannot imagine that at all.
But again, I think that Zach's gonna know that, and Zach's gonna want to make a statement in the night, because I know he's got the same sort of treatment that we've given other players of like his offense is high powered and it's fast, and it works really, really, really well against the CPU. And
or James Earls, who also plays cover 2 religiously.
He's gonna want to go out and prove that he can do the same to a player team.
So he should. I'm an advocate of Zach starting this game with Gill in the slot and Barkley and Wing and being like, we're just going to play like we always play and then adjust after a quarter if need be. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be like, oh god, it's Niall, I need to play him differently. Play your game, but you're not going to be 25, 30 points up at halftime.
I definitely think Zach's going to want to go out and make a statement.
As he should. If not, then he's just the... He's the 11-0 Steelers. Where are we? Yes, so I got a question here specifically for John. By the way, anybody that's listening online right now, feel free to message in the chat and we'll get questions. PM me if you wanted to be anonymous, or just fire me in the beach chat there. We're all reading. This is the sort of time where I bring somebody on and ask them who they think's going to win the MVP, but fuck that, your team's literally amazing. Who deserves the MVP most out of your team? Like, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, bloody Jordan Poyer is an outside shot for it. Like, it's a ridiculously talented team, player to player.
That's tough. Like, I gotta go with Deshaun. Like, I think I could probably cut or bench Will Fuller and Hopkins in the same game and still.
Have you not won? You've won games without them as well, haven't you? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I've won stretches without Hopkins. It's mostly Deshaun.
I said this a bunch of times this year, including in the game that you tied, which I thought it was outstanding. Deshaun Watson this is the best you've played a quarterback in Madden ever. and you've had some good ones.
No offense to like Justin Herbert and anybody else who's up for it, but it's Deshaun Watson is 100% the MVP. It's really not close. If you take away Justin Herbert from the Giants, but give them like, and again you can say that Teddy Bridgewater, but we've seen the same offense. We've seen the same offense win Andy Dalton 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
You could probably put Andy Dalton in that Giants offense and throw him the same ball. Not saying that Herbert's not made it slightly better, but if you take Deshaun Watson or that Texans team, I don't think it's the same.
I'm not calling Watson the unanimous MVP yet because Herbert is about to play Niall and Adam back to back, and that will raise his standard if he comes out of it looking really good.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
I agree. I just in my team, I think a majority of it's Deshaun.
I would agree with that. I think not that he's carrying you. You've literally won with a bunch of quarterbacks. He's playing outrageously good. You are not the underdog in any game. You can go to Mile High or go to the Giants or go to the Saints. You are not the underdog in any game with him. It's mad. Where are we? 3-word game. 3-word game for this week. Yes. Everybody's playing now.
Excited for this.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Some funny ones and some absolutely terrible ones that I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel with this week. I'll let you judge which is which. Adam beat the Saints 24-13 in the game. We kind of all wanted him to like blow them out because it's the Falcons. The 3-word game is Birds Want Seed. They almost robbed the 1 seed off him. If he loses that, he's dead in terms of chasing the 1 seed because it's a divisional game. And I thought, I don't think the Falcons ever led, but there was a point in the first half where I'm like, holy god, they're not going away. Their quarterback was Dick as well. Your boy Daniels or whatever you call him. Matt Ryan was holding for the game, which had me upset. That was sad. But the guy they have in literally could not complete a pass, and they were in this game throughout. He just never put them away. We've all heard of the Minnesota Miracle. Niall's 3-word game is the Minneapolis Miracle. I gotta say, I enjoyed the crazy heave down the field and tip and catch. It was really good to see because the amount of times you see it and the CPU receiver just drops it and you're like, well, he would have fucking caught that and scored, then we would have been livid. So it's a bit rough for him to beat such a poor CPU team by 1 score, but my god, the manner he did it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, I'll get back to it later on, my team of the week, but I thought David Montgomery was really good. Denver Broncos 3-word game did his homework. I thought, James, this is not a 1-score game and it should never have went to overtime. You were totally built to hold this Arizona offense to below 20, and you did. It's just a pity you held your own offense to 3 for most of the game. Stoops 3-word game also did homework. I don't think Stoops played badly at all and probably deserved to win for most of it. Daniel, I said the words Stoops had a shot at winning, and you went ballistic at me during the week. This is your chance to air your grievances with that Arizona team.
Yeah, even when we were sitting at 17-3, I still thought there was no way James Conner was going to lose that game.
Really?
Please explain. Because the rest of the group called game. Everybody in this chat apart from you called game.
It was just... It's just the same... You know when you sit and watch an episode of like... I'm trying to think of a good example. One of those sort of shit comedies, like Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And something happens at the start, and you know exactly how it's going to end. Because it's slightly different to all the other episodes you've seen, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a different game than we've ever seen, but it's pretty much the same Cardinals game. That just doesn't go right, or just falls the wrong way. Like 17-3, the next play was a massive 80-yard heave down to the 5.
Yeah,
and it showed just how fragile that team is. And again, when Stoops was driving in overtime, he had back-to-back completions, and I thought, okay, this is starting to go well. And then again, I think it was actually the draw that he went to. That just as soon as he went back to that, boom, done, stuff in the backfield. And then he was forced into making that throw that was then picked off and taken home. Yeah. Plus the 9 that he missed as well. I can't remember who brought it up in the group. Somebody put a screenshot in of it. It was...
John and I were both pissed that he just missed a great chance to audible for a first down in overtime. Or was it
No,
overtime?
the
Regular season?
who was
Or
the
regular
9
time?
for the touch? There was a 9 wide open for a touchdown.
Oh, was it Isabella? He got picked on it earlier in the day, but John was right. He had it on the
Yeah,
picture
he
we had.
completely broke coverage. It was a touchdown if he'd thrown it.
What
It's
at the
just
end?
Yeah.
it's just people not
Yeah, it is.
going through the
It's
progression
outside.
on a
It's
play.
outside
Yeah.
release. I don't know. I don't know how people feel about like you have to kind of position that to the outside. But
That's it. For
it
me,
wasn't a
that's a
touchdown.
touchdown.
Like
Yeah.
James Earl say a bunch of them to LaVisca Chenault tonight in different routes. It's easy enough to put the ball outside and give him a shot to go and get it. Where are we? James Earls beat Indianapolis. 3-word game, Dallas red zone. I said it in the group earlier on. I thought you were 9 out of 10 from your 20 to their end zone, but you were absolute dick balls inside your own 20. You defensively, the last Funchess touchdown to send it to overtime, they attacked the strength of the cover 3 and you were deadly unlucky. The drive before that, they threw 3 tight end seams. I thought it was Burton. They threw 3 tight end seams from the 5 all into the stands, all of them, and the receivers running through graphics into the fucking locker room. And I'm like, if they just threw like 5 yards shorter on that, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And like just being at your own 3-yard line. I think you're at your own 3-yard line twice, and you're like, let's run an ISO, and I'm like, you can't do that. There's a chance that's going backwards, and you got fumbled as well. Zach, I like this one. Beat the Titans 36-5. Licensed to Gill. Gill was thank you.
Probably the best one.
Thank you. Oh, the rest of them were shit, I thought, this week. Gill's fantastic. Well, the Minneapolis Miracles, okay. License to Gill's amazing. Gill was just unplayable. There was points in the second half where they could have lined up with fucking 7 players on offense and scored. Outrageous. Tennessee, for being a 5-5 team, they're for the sake of someone chasing John, they're on the division graphic for could win the AFC South. Spoiler, they don't.
I think Zach's amazing at got so much better at like throwing the ball and making decisions,
Hasn't he?
and just as well compared to what he was doing last year, which was, I remember one game was just relying on Bridgewater to get 4 touchdowns off 5 passes.
Yeah. And it works, we win. If it doesn't work, we miss the playoffs. It shouldn't shock anybody, his renaissance. He was 8-8 last year, and he lost his first 2 games of the season when clearly he was just out of his depth through week 1 and 2. So he was basically he was 500 last year, but he was well better than 500, and it's starting to show. Oakland, 3-word game, more than 14. I challenge you to score more than 14, Nick, and not only did you score more than 14, you won by a win margin of more than 14. That was pretty handy. He's now guaranteed to not have a losing season, which is a massive improvement on last year. His playoff odds as well, that when you cut the miles for that, it's like 98% chance. He's as much chance of making the postseason as John does. Literally. John, your 3-word game is Fields of Dreams. Justin Fields was dreaming if he ever thought he was in that game. They got they got a 3. They got 3 points, and I'm surprised they even kicked those. Fields looked out of his depth, and he was shagged by John the whole game. John had a bunch of turnovers in that game, if I remember correctly as well, and still won it.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game defensively.
Still won at a counter. Yeah, there was one pick. Was it Levante David, maybe? There was one pick, and I was like, oh, that's a nasty pick. Couple of questions to address before we move on.
How good, by the way, was that Devin White pick of Drew Brees last night?
That's what it reminded. That's what it reminded me of.
So good.
John was amazing.
John using him. Niall wants to know, John, this is your second season at the same club. This is the first time this has happened. My question for you is, how does it feel? Is it better, different, indifferent, weird, the same, easier?
I know it's the same. You kind of you get. I think I just probably know the team a bit better, and know I kind of want to get another ball. And there's really no difference apart from that.
You're one of the only teams that I've seen.
A bit better.
You're one of the only teams I've seen in CFM history to win a bowl and be better the next year. There's always a drop off. I've retained a bowl and there's a drop off. You're worse the next year because you take things for granted and you just look like you know the answers to the test.
Well, I think that'll be decided once I play a proper CPU team, proper player team, not like James Cameron.
Aye,
like a proper one.
like a legit team,
Yeah.
not the
Like a
Broncos.
contender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Montgomery, I know he got hurt in the last game, but we never got an injury report on him. Niall's saying that he's out for 5 weeks, which is the rest of the regular season. If he's out for 5 weeks, he'll miss the next. I don't know whether that was at the time, so maybe he'll be. There's a good chance he's back in the regular season, but it's fair to say that he's going to miss at Zach versus Adam, at Green Bay versus the Lions. That's a fucking nightmare for him to miss Montgomery for.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's he's 9-1. I think he's gonna finish closer to 10-6 than he is 15-1. That's hard to lose. No, he's not gonna be 10-6, but he'll be closer to 10 wins than he will 16 or whatever.
Yeah, he can't be 10 wins again. He has to.
Montgomery's that's a backbreaker.
Yeah.
Now it's not an excuse or anything like that. The guy literally signed about 4 running backs in last year's postseason alone for this very case. Plus, out of those games, I see games against Herbert, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, who always goes 1-1 against now. He's not going to.
Niall really does have the worst CPU luck or team luck. He plays some great player teams every year.
It's the complete opposite of Stoops, who plays Seattle and the Niners and the Rams, who are all great teams, but all have dick records. Niall plays really tough teams who are all like 1-10.
Yeah.
But they're all games that I don't think Niall's going to have like a 20-point lead in, where he's just going to try and run the game away with Montgomery. So, I mean, the fact that he's playing tougher teams right now might help account for the Montgomery loss, but any team, look at even the Saints, look at any team in this CFM when they lose their top back, they're going to play from behind. So we're going to find out how legitimate the Bears are in the next 2 weeks. I'm just trying to think who the backups are. I know Ingram is a backup.
Ingram's a backup there.
No, not Mark Ingram though. No. The other is a Kelvin Ingram, and King Teague as well. Is the other?
King.
He's
King a draft pick, or is he an actual player that he renamed?
Actual player he renamed.
Master Teague. Who's...
Oh no, he drafted him, but he's a real guy. But he renamed him.
Guy.
Yeah, he renamed him. He's primarily been a kick returner this year, but he's going to have to take touches of the ball now, surely. So that's the 3-word game. Team of the week. Oh, you got something else you want to add?
No, I was just going to praise Niall some more, so it's probably best you cut me off.
Oh, no, absolutely. Go on ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Niall, Niall be alright, his whole strength is his defense, so, and he'll be able to do what he needs to do with the running backs he's got. 5 weeks isn't. He's going to make the playoffs no matter what, and I think he's going to win his division no matter what.
Yeah,
it just depends if he goes 3rd seed or gets into that top 2.
No team
I think he needs top 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, no team
he's
has.
He's going to face, like, if he's 3rd seed, he's probably going to face the top 2 seeds. He's going to face Zach and.
Yes, he'll have to go to one of them. Yeah.
If he's 3rd, he'll have to go through. Well, if he's 2nd, he might have to go through Zach. But if he's 3rd, he'll have to go through Zach / Adam, and then the other one.
Yeah,
and that's
and then whoever's coming out of the AFC as well. Like,
oh yeah, and then you probably have to go and play John in the bowl. See, nobody wants to play Adam, Zach, John 3 weeks in a row. That's
tough. That's tough.
It's even for the best team in the league. That's going to be tough to go through them 3 continuously. I can't imagine that being an easy one. But yeah, I think Niall needs to get the 1 or the 2 seed, and not even for anything other than to be able to say, I got the 1 or the 2 seed, I got a bye. You get that week off, you get that little break, you get to see everybody else playing their games. Yeah, it makes a difference, and I think it would be a great
progression for a Niall team, honestly.
It would.
That as well, yeah.
I wouldn't rule him out of it if he finishes the 3 seed, because Niall's finishes have been 5 seed, 6 seed, missed the playoffs, 5 seed, 3 seed. He went to the Super Bowl the year he was the 3 seed. So 3 seed's not the end of him, but like you guys are saying, if he...
Yeah.
But the two seed's no guarantee of a bowl. James Cameron was the 2 seed last year. So 2 seed sometimes means nothing.
Yeah. Did he play just CPU? He would have played just CPU teams, considering Nick wasn't in.
Yeah.
There's a question: have we ever had a 1 or 2 seed miss the title game?
Oh god, yeah, loads. Anytime James Earls was the 2 seed, yeah. James Earls was the 2 seed last year, yeah, and James Earls was the 2 seed with Minnesota in 2020. Yeah, James has never got the only teams that have missed the title game with the 2 seed is James Earls. James Cameron went to the title game and lost it as the 2 seed, and you, Daniel, you went to the title game as the 2 seed and lost it. But no one's
Nice,
no one's ever missed the title game as a 2 seed except James Earls, who's
2
done it
seconds
twice.
in, who was the PvP game I won that year during the regular season?
I don't know. Did you have a PvP? Oh, week 4 of the Bengals.
Yeah, he clears the
Falcons.
climbed out of his box. I just no, to be fair, like
that's right. Sorry, forgot about that.
it's the same as all the years that Ian got to the bowl and beat Adam and stuff. Like, could I have made the bowl that year? Yeah, if it went in the NFC, like, you know. But
Morning, Adam.
That's tough on Adam. Like,
I'm not saying Adam didn't deserve to be in the bowl, but I'm just saying that having
Absolutely
your season
not. It's not
ended
his
by-
fault that everybody was too feared to get in the NFC.
But it's the same as what I got. It's the same as all these teams that I made the bowl and got beat by Brady. Then you're no better than the AFC runner-up. if your season ended by the same person, you just didn't get to play until the next week. Like, you know, if you win the NFC, look at this year. If the Packers beat Brady and then beat the Bills can't go, ha fuck you, Brady. At least we made the bowl. Like, well, yeah. You still get slapped. Your last game of the season was still against the same team. You know, you still get slapped with the same guy. You just conference-wise got to play him a week later. Yeah, you just got to watch the Pro Bowl first. Like, it's no real difference.
got to watch the Pro Bowl.
Right, team of the which is more than we said for this year. No Pro Bowl. Team of the week. I'll get through that
To
really
be fair,
quickly.
the Pro Bowl this year would have been on the night the Royal Rumble's on. So I'm
True.
quite happy there's no Pro Bowl this year.
No,
There
they're
is
they're not
not
doing it.
actually-
They're trying to limit contact.
COVID.
Yeah,
There's
COVID.
a Pro Bowl awards ceremony, but there's no actual bowl, which means we can watch the Royal Rumble instead. So I'm very, very happy.
True.
Well, what's WWE at these days?
They are motoring along. They're one of the industries that hasn't really been affected by this, like impacted as such.
Well,
Are
they
they
have
still
been
doing
just
this
have-
weird sound?
Oh,
No
Vince!
crowd?
Vince loves it. He pumps crowd
Yeah.
in. He gets them to cheer what he wants them to cheer. Now this is his wet dream. It's Randy
It's
Orton,
weird.
Sheamus again. Way! Who's cheering? One of them is Devin Funches. Quarterback for the team of the week is Jacoby Brissett. This is a little bit of a romantic pick. He played pretty well this week, better than a lot of other user
What
QBs.
Ian's saying is he won like a game and a half when Brady got suspended. So we're gonna put him in team of the week.
No, this dude has run every user team close, tied with John, and ran everybody else really
True,
close,
the Colts have been really, really good this year
haven't they? And they're like 3-6
as
and
a
1.
CPA team. They're like the AFC Bucks now.
Yeah, only the Bucks are 8-2 and the Colts are 3-6 and 1. Running back 1 is Alvin Kamara. There's a chance. I want to make this spicy for anybody listening. And I know Adam's not going to come rushing to my defense till tomorrow. I think Alvin Kamara has an outside shot of being the best running back in this league. Do it all, shout at me once. He might be the best running back in this league. Running back number 2 is David Montgomery. Yes, he missed like a third of the game, but the Bears were a shadow without him. Like that was a big worry. Now again, I don't think it's going to impact the Bears going forward. It's different when you're without Montgomery, because like the Saints are without Michael Thomas, it's fine. But when you lose him in the middle of a game, you're like, well, fuck, I have no plan for this. But now he's got plenty of time to prep.
I don't know.
for
We've seen
the Giants.
Adam win entire PvP games without Michael Thomas.
He was out there, but he could have wore the jersey again. DeAndre Hopkins is wide receiver 1, Jalen Gill wide receiver 2. I'm going to give Chris Herndon of Dallas the tight end spot this week.
Because he was targeted on every second play.
1 yard drags. And the flex is Christian Kirk. He truly, madly, deeply deserved to win that game. Defensive lineman is Jeffrey Simmons of the Titans. I thought he was the only Titan that did anything, and he was really good at bottling up the run early. Because Barkley didn't do too much in the first half, and he was part of the team that sacked Herbert a ton of times. Fred Fingers Warner is the linebacker. He's quietly becoming the best backer in this league.
Fingers.
I'm giving Jeff Gladney of the Raiders. I haven't picked a Raiders DB, a Raiders defender even. I don't think all season. I'm giving.
Since you won the ball with them.
Yeah, I'm giving. It was like Keller Witherspoon, the Pete Rozelle winner. Jeff Gladney is the DB because he got a pick on the second play of the game against the Bengals, and that was it. The Bengals were fucking toast after that. That Raiders team is literally a turnover or two a week away from being outrageous. Think about it. If Nick was to try and get one or two more turnovers to go his way, he could be flying.
True. If at any point that defense steps up, they're going to be a bit of an animal in the playoffs.
So herd hierarchy is really, really quick this week. The not herd hierarchy. We got, again, same as most weeks now, we've got one new team on it and a couple of movers and shifters. So
is it a new player team or?
It's a new player team. So in number 10 is the 6-4 Rams. They're down 5 spots. Number 9 is the new team, is the 7-3 Cowboys.
Okay.
In 8, up 1 spot, is the 7-3 Steelers.
Okay.
Number 7, down 1 spot, is the 9-1 Bears. Number 6, up 2 spots, is the 8-2 Raiders, who, if they played the Bears tomorrow, I believe would win.
They play me this week.
Yes, they do, and that'll be a really good litmus test that could send them right back down this hierarchy. In 5th spot, up 2, is the 8-2 Bucks. Still think they're the best CPU team going. 4th is the 9-1 Broncos, no change. 3rd is the 9-1 Saints, no change. 2nd is the 8-1 Texans, no change. And top is the 10-0 Giants, no change.
Makes sense.
But there'll be some movers and shakers there the next couple of weeks. Only, I don't think the Bucks or Niall or Nick did anything spectacular this week. James Cameron is primed to finally drop out of that 4th spot. He was shaky this week.
By the way, and in case you were wondering, Hamburg are 5-0 up.
Oh, nice one.
Watching it on my laptop. Continue.
Big up Hamburg.
Big up Hamburg. They
are
are
Hamburgers, or as Mr. Fingers.
Ooh.
Mr. Fingers is half the reason I don't want James to make the ball.
Here's an interesting. I was literally going to tag. I know you guys are listening. I'm literally going to tag Niall in this in the meet chat. Saquon Barkley has about 2 grabs in the season. That's worth noting because that could drastically go up or stay the same. So Blazing 5, we got 5 games to call. John, you've got 4. I'm not letting you call the Texans Raiders game. So we'll go through them. First of all, we'll do the one that really doesn't matter at all. Obviously, this is the first time that Adam hasn't been in the Blazing 5 in about 10 weeks. Dallas versus Jacksonville. The not Vegas. This is really short and sweet. The not Vegas line is Cowboys by 17. And I'm taking the Cowboys.
It's always a safe bet.
I'm taking the Cowboys. This seems pretty clean. Dan, John, who are you taking, and by how many?
CPU beaters beat the CPU.
It's Cowboys who? Sorry, your mic.
Oh, Cowboys, Jags.
Oh, yeah, Cowboys by 10. Still fairly safe.
Cowboys by I'll give James 13.
I mean, that's the thing. He's the enigma. John has just pointed out that James is locked to win this game because the Jags are controlled by a computer. But he could win. He could win it by 1 or 478. There is literally no way to know how many. He went to overtime this week. There is no way to know how good Dallas are going to be.
James does love an absolute fucking nail biter. I guess in a game, especially in a game, he should be blowing the other team out. Like playing a fucking not an 11 team, field goal win it. Like it just.
I think he just really hates Madden and is so much better than we think he is, and he just tries to make it interesting for himself all the time.
True, maybe he's trying to make Ian look at Dick. Maybe he's keeping himself down the power rankings, and he's just going to fucking walk the playoffs.
If he does, I'll get a James or does Dallas tattoo.
What would you do if James won a bowl? That'd be hilarious.
What, like a CFM bowl in this league that we play in?
Yeah.
Not worth discussing. But if he ever does, it is in the tattoo district. Like it's mad.
It would be in.
Better than that, we should pay for James to get a tattoo. We should get James to get a Dallas Cowboys tattoo if he wins the bowl. And
No.
On his forehead.
A matching nose ring with James.
I would get a matching nose ring with James if he ever beats me in a bowl.
You and nose ring look good.
Oh, thank you. That's not a compliment, is it?
John beats me in the regular season.
No, shut up.
Come on, there's a conceivable chance of me returning at some point. Dan, you will never be back. Let's be real
No,
here.
I didn't even enjoy it when I was there. I didn't even enjoy it when I was winning, fuck's sake. But yes, I'm looking forward to having John on my podcast as well. That's going to be good fun.
Oh, he's hurt
Oh,
by not Joe Rogan.
Yes, next week is the last week that we'll have a guest on around the CFM.
Yes, we
And who is
have
it?
Niles on next week.
It's Niall, and then once that's wrapped up,
Unlucky.
we'll be doing.
Who for, by the way?
Oh, definitely,
You're such a
definitely you.
We will be having a. And again, it'll not be a serious thing. It'll just be me playing a game of Madden with you, and we'll do the first half. We'll do like 6-minute quarters. The first half we talk about the CFM. Second half we talk about something random.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, so I'll get sorted. I think Zach is going to be the first person on. I think he messaged me.
Oh, you should definitely up the stakes with that. Do 6-minute quarters, right? And whoever wins the game gets to ask the other one a really personal question about the season or about something that they have to answer honestly.
Yeah. People can get
Put
my
some-
honest opinion.
Put,
Not
yeah,
that- you know the way I hide my opinion so well on here.
oh yeah.
Yeah, you're not an outspoken guy, like.
Getting blood out of a stone.
But yeah, we'll do something like that. But yeah, we'll just play a game of Madden. I might even set an Ultimate Team up and do it on Ultimate Team.
I was going to say I'll play at some point, but not if it's Ultimate Team. No, that's not it. No.
But people have like, yeah, I think everybody in the group probably has an Ultimate Team, and if not,
The majority will, yeah.
I can just set one up and I'll just play with bronze cards or something. But yeah, we'll be doing that after next week's the last week. We'll have somebody in around CFM, and then after that we'll get that started.
Yeah,
but
the next time I'll have guests. The next time I'll have guests will probably be the wildcard weekend
Playoffs.
for anybody that's eliminated. Yeah. Next game is Broncos versus 49ers. I'm going Broncos by 11. They're going to get back in the wagon this week.
Broncos, yeah, they need it.
Broncos by 14.
I'll give Broncos by 1.5 points.
Broncos by 1.5 plus it is.
Just to win by.
No, just 1.5 points. It's not. That's an exact.
Spot on, right? Okay. Fair, that's fair. Next we've got a game that's probably like low key. This game is probably bigger than either of the head to heads. The Arizona versus the Rams. The not Vegas line is Cardinals by 5. I'm gonna take the Rams because
Did Stips win last week?
no Stips is
Cards.
That's-
Just whatever the opposite is of what he did last week is usually your safe bet.
they are both 6-4, and the winner will control the division and their destiny for the last 5 weeks.
Oh, then Stoops will control it for half a week and then give it right back. So he'll probably win this game and then lose
For
whatever
half
the
a
next
week.
important game is.
Right, Cardinals by how many then?
Like by 7, but in the last 2 seconds of the game.
Well, it's sort of I don't ask that, but it's sort of a given that Stips' game is going to be decided after the 2-minute warning in the second half.
I'm going to go the other way around. I'm going to go Stips by 4. I think he's going to be up by. He's going to score a touchdown with 2 minutes to go to put himself in the lead, and then pick them off at like the 1 with 8 seconds on the clock.
That'd be a good one.
Okay. And then does he kneel it or punt it or spike it or what happens then?
No, he takes a deep shot. That's
to
picked off
run a bit of clock.
Yeah, make sure there's a good 4 or 5 seconds airtime on it.
That's generally what goes through his head, isn't it, though? Need to run clock, right? Well, I'll pass it, and I'll throw it like 55 yards, and that'll run about 7 seconds of airtime off. Oh, shit, they caught it. What the hell?
Then you run another 4 or 5 seconds off and then return it. As long as you put them out of 20, you win.
Like, punting first down. Think about how long that's going to take.
He fucking loves a heartbeat game. It is absolutely brilliant. Makes it interesting.
Him and Earls are the best, CPU watches, 100%.
True. Him and James Earls would go to like 4 overtimes. It would be
That's
great.
my dream NFC title game because the AFC wins the pool.
Too bad we couldn't just get college overtime rules, and then just take Stoops and
Have them
James
taking shots from the 25, yeah.
Stoops has quit his job and Dara's dumped James, and they're just playing into their 40s. Just
Yeah,
I will win.
They're on the 3rd week of overtime.
It just says in the top corner overtime, and then the wee infinity symbol. Just play fight forever.
Until someone wins.
Right, we'll do John's one first of all because he can't call that. Daniel, Houston at Oakland. The not Vegas line is Texans by 10, and I'm going to take the Texans because they've never lost a head-to-head game like in the last 2 years, and Nick has never won one. So this is a game pretty open and dry.
Have Texans lost a CPU game or a player game? No.
Since the start of last season, no. You're 2-0 in the regular season, and you're 2-0 in the postseason.
So the whole time with the Texans, I'm undefeated.
Yeah, you're 2-0 regular season, 4-0 postseason with the Texans, and Nick is 0-5 in that time.
I love Nick.
So do I, but I'm not going to call Nick as the winner of this game. I can't.
But,
Nick's what's great about the league is like that coming back and going 8-2 is just it would be so easy for him just to be like, oh, I just got dicked in that season. Why would I play this?
I think Nick's in with a depending on how these next couple of weeks go. If Nick can hit 11 or 12 wins, I reckon Nick gets Coach of the Year.
So do I. Nick is what do you call it? The scary thing with Nick,
he'll very much deserve it as well.
He can't win his division. I don't think he wins his division, so no one's taking him seriously. Look at the NFC. Like Stoops and James Earls are regarded. Stoops can still win a division, but they're regarded as the wildcard teams. Everybody talks about Zach and Niall and Adam, and in the AFC, it's like, oh, can't wait to see James and John again. Nick is half a win. What is it? Half a win better than John, and 1 win behind James Cameron. He's right in there, but because he's not going to win a division, no one's taking him seriously. I wouldn't want to play him in the playoffs because he's quite an unknown. But I'm taking the Texans in this game. Easy.
I think Texans by 17, but I reckon it's a lot of late points. I reckon.
Yeah.
John's up by 7 or up by 10, and Nick throws a pick, and then it just sort of turns, and John drives on. But
a great game.
It's
I think going into the fourth it'll be closer than people think.
Nick,
but I don't think Nick will win it.
Nick's big thing that he wants at the minute is he wants his first PvP win, like even more than a bowl. That's the next target he wants to hit. Yeah. This is the hardest fixture he could possibly have been given to achieve that, and it will be some watch. So last but very much not least, Bears at Giants. The not Vegas line is Giants by 14. My gut tells me it'll be Giants by about 2, and they'll know they've been in a game. I really think that.
You think the Giants still get it?
Yes.
I'm gonna
give it to Niall.
Good. Someone should. Like I said, it's gonna be close. The Giants
by 4. Defense stands up to Giant drive for a touchdown.
The Giants by 14, not Vegas line is just. I come up with the not Vegas lines by looking at your last 3 or 4 games and just crunch the numbers. Zach should score about 40 points on him, and Niall will struggle to score 14. I don't think that's how it's going to play out. I think Vegas is wrong in this one. But Giants by a minuscule. I'll go Giants by 1.5. Close.
I think it'll end like you're in Niall's last game. You know, the one that you took a shot at the end.
Yes, Hunter Renfro picked off by not Eddie Jackson, the other one.
I think it comes down to Niall's defense, and he makes a stand.
I'm gonna flip that actually. I think Giants by 4, but it ends with the ball in the Bears' hands. And again,
I also think the Bears are the last team to possess in this game.
I think it'll be very, very close.
I think it'll be a great game.
It could be. We've had a couple of absolute barn burners of PvP games this year. Some absolute legendary ones.
I think it'll make Niall. Niall's going to feel good going into the playoffs after this game.
The strength of the league is in the PvP this year. I think if you discount week 1, where Zach neutered James Earls, and it was a real big loss. It was like, that's it, you're not winning the division this year from week 1. Every other PvP game's class. Stoops beat Adam. James Earls beat Niall. John beat James Cameron in an AFC title rematch. James Cameron's literally just, I don't want to say fluked, but just navigated Stoops. Zach and James Earls put on a 65-point clinic. Nick, who loses every PvP game he plays by 40, lost by 5 to the Broncos earlier on the season. It's the PvP across the board's been outrageously good this year.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching the PvP games. Have all been good watches as well.
There's two people. Nick and John both have 3 PvP games remaining, so they play each other this week. Later on in the season, John plays Zach and James Earls, the two NFC East teams back to back, and Nick has to play James Cameron for a shot at the division, and Nick plays Stoops in week 16, which I will be booking time off in my calendar for. I gotta watch that game.
That's gonna be a good game.
It could end. I mean, if Nick wins a couple of games between now and then, it's not so bad. But if he struggles, it could end either of their seasons. Like, it's that big a game.
Yeah. It's certainly not a game I'd like to come out of thinking, I could have had one there.
Fuck, I needed that. Yeah.
Yeah, neither of them are really in the position to. Yeah, I don't think Stoops or Nick will go into that game in the position like, if I lose it, I'll lose it. You know, I think both of them are going to really, really need that one.
Nick is more comfy than Stoops. At the minute, Nick has an outside shot of the West, unlikely, but he's very likely to not only be a wildcard team in the AFC, but the strongest wildcard team. Stoops is anywhere from the NFC West winner to missing the playoffs. It's literally that close. I'm going to put it in the group now. Hang on. So this is from the 4 seed down
I
to...
love him, but he's just allergic to consistency.
Yeah, he's never consistent.
Horrible.
And that's good, because Stoops has never been in a rut. He's never lost like 4 in a row because he can't even be that consistent. Like, where are we? So Stoops.
True. He's so inconsistent that it saves him from a bad run.
So I've just put in the group there. Stoops is the 4 seed, and he could drop to what's that? The 9th seed very easily. He's anywhere in there, and he gets a home playoff game if he wins the West. He is anywhere from a home playoff game, likely against the Bucks, or being eliminated. It's mad.
Stoops must feel very Ron Rivera right now.
This could go one of 2 ways.
All I've got to do is beat the piss around me, and I'll get to host somebody.
Yes, the rest of his division, by the way, are the Rams at 6-4, the Hawks at 2-8, and the Niners at 1-9. And he plays.
What's the Rams record?
Oh, the Rams record 6-4. They're the same as Stoops. They play him twice though.
There's 9 wins in that division, not including Stoops.
Yes.
That's
Stoops is remaining schedule.
Next time we criticise John for having 8.5. Just remember he's half a win behind the West.
No, but Stoops' last couple of games, like, if I put a gun to your head and asked you to call these games, you literally couldn't.
I couldn't do that with any Stoops game.
He plays he's at home against the Rams, at home against the Panthers, at the Eagles, at the Seahawks, at home against Nick, and at the Rams in week 17. It's literally set up for the best Stoops finish ever. I think the Rams beat him this week, but he could get in. I really think he's got a chance of getting in, even as a wild card team. It's mad. But he's got to look at the fact that the Buccaneers and James Earls are massive favourites to be the NFC wildcard teams.
Can I say this about Stoops? Stoops
You
just
say what you want, yeah?
get into the playoffs, because I think once he gets to a PvP team,
He's going to be such a hard out, isn't he? If he was just to get to the dance.
He just needs to get there, because then his chances goes up. He's just inconsistent against CPU teams. If he just gets against Adam or gets against Niall, he gets against Zach, I think he has a chance to
It's not outrageous to say that Adam finishes with the 1 seed, right? Imagine Stoops is the 6 seed and wins his wildcard game against the CPU. Adam, in no way, shape, or form, wants to see Stoops in divisional weekend. I think he'd rather see Zach. Stoops is a fucking random Pandora's box of, we're gonna eat it. We shouldn't, but we're going to eat it. I would not want to play Stoops, especially divisional weekend. It just feels like a really weird time. Stoops would be a fucking tough out.
I'd hate to play Stoops at any time, to be honest.
But see,
I would as well.
Stoops has made the playoffs. Stoops made the postseason in his rookie season, and he won the West, and he lost in Arizona against Green Bay, a CPU team. Because the problem with Stoops trying to win a bowl is generally to win a bowl you have to win 3 games in a row, and that's really hard for this franchise. He could dominate you in the title game and then just lay a squib in the Super Bowl, because he can't. Back-to-back games are so fucking difficult. Literally his last 4 games: lost to Broncos, beat Kansas City, lost to Chargers, beat the Niners, beat Adam in 5 games ago. He also
have 1 loss.
Yes, and because he's an NFC team, that's why Zach's walking to the 1 seed as it is.
Jesus Christ.
Stoops is going to somehow find a way to be eliminated, but also shape the entire postseason picture.
And Zach doesn't play Stoops now.
Nope. Nor does he play Adam. Zach is offensive linemen look out for each other. Stoops has paved the way. All that Zach has to do is really avoid defeat denial. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Isn't it? God, Stoops, you're
Oh,
amazing.
I'm excited.
Much like shite the league would be without Stoops. Right, I've covered all of the official and unofficial topics that I want to go through, and there's nothing else in the chat. Daniel, have you got anything else to add? If not, is it time to give John his 10 minutes of infame?
Oh, please, yeah. Just let John shit on people.
What's this?
Oh, the head coach generally gets 5-10 minutes at the end of the podcast to talk about whatever. We've had some brilliant ones. We had Zach, or we had Adam break down how every team's doing. We had James Cameron sort of suggest he doesn't understand the league. And last week we had Zach tell everybody they're doing a fine job, but fucking basically come at me, bitch. I'm going to be the 1 seed. I want to win the bowl. And if you want to win the bowl, you're going to have to go through me. So you can make it as WWE if you want.
Okay, I'm just going to keep it nice and simple.
Fair enough.
It's all well and good, Zach, saying that he is going to be the 1 seed. He's making a run this year. The guy it just doesn't have the experience. He's going to get reeled by Adam in the title game. I think he's going to probably, it could look like sneaking past Niall, reeled past Adam, and then on the AFC side, I'm gonna, probably finish here about. I'm saying 13-2-1 maybe. Maybe I pick up one more loss.
That seems
Not
fair.
against the player team, of course. So I win my next 3 player games, and then I'll come up to James Cameron or Nick. The AFC's a cakewalk for me. It really is. Nick's just, living the dream. He wins more than he ever thought he was gonna get. Guy's not a competition. Great player, great competitor. No competition. James Cameron, an
Great competitor, not a competition.
A donkey. had me on the ropes. The one time he's gonna have me on the ropes in his whole time in the CFM. Fucked it. Says he had me on the ropes this season. No, never worry when James, because James is too much of an idiot to think about more than one play at the goal line. So AFC, easy. Then it comes down to me and Adam in the bowl, and this is how it's going to happen. I know for a fact. It's written in the stars. Me and Adam, the only two real contenders in the league since the departure of Ian. That's the matchup everybody wants. That's the matchup everybody should get, as long as, because I'll be there. I said this last year. I'll be there. I was there. Adam wasn't there.
Every
Adam,
year John has
there.
said he'll be there.
Be
John
there.
has been there.
Adam, I'll be there. You have to be there. Because I'm going to beat the reels off Adam. And then at that point, everybody's going to know that there's only one legitimate player in this league.
John at 8:30. Well, all 3 of the 9-1 teams are legitimate. John at 9:15. I'm the only legitimate team in this league.
Oh no, they're all good. Yeah, no, every team's good. Niall's the best he's ever looked. But there's levels to it.
There is indeed.
There's levels to it. As quarterbacks, Josh Allen looks good. He looks like a good quarterback. Aaron Rodgers playing the best he's probably ever played. But there really is, when the books are written, only one GOAT: Tom Brady. I'm the Tom Brady at the CFM.
Because you've got 4 titles.
No.
Getting there.
It's because he moved to a new team.
He also loves avocado.
Oh yeah.
Does Tom Brady love avocado?
Tom
does.
Brady eats nothing but avocado. That's why he looks 10 years younger than Drew Brees.
Jesus, sorry. What a Bender.
Also, like Daniel says, he kisses his kids in the lips. Like, what's that about?
I don't kiss any kids in the lips. Shit. This is
But
a bad analogy.
depends what age
Yeah,
do you
John,
count as kids,
John, you also kiss kids in the lips, I believe.
That's cuckoo.
Okay, we're leaving this. This was meant to be my 10 minutes. We're offering him false allegations into this again.
I give you 10 minutes, and 4 minutes into it, you're alienating everybody that's listening to this because they're all shite in comparison to you.
Yeah, legitimately. Well, Adam's good. Like Adam's a contender. He just needs to, pull his finger out and actually,
So what you're saying is, like, you're the best team in the AFC, and somebody from the NFC has to get to the bowl.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop,
And
NFC.
it should
Woo.
be Adam because I need to, Adam, his excuses last year about the lag and he couldn't punt, couldn't kick, it's all just a bit trivial. Just get to the ball. I'll be there. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Oh, I can't wait for the ball.
I also can't wait for the bowl, and you can start calling me everybody because I also want to see John and Adam in the bowl more than life itself at this stage. Absolutely robbed last year of what it should be like the World War III cataclysmic event that ends the CFM. Adam beating John. The league would implode. No, I say it on this podcast. John is the favourite for every game he goes into. And he
I
would
really
be
can't lose to Nick now. Like that would be really bad.
Oh,
Okay.
it's funny how this podcast works, isn't it? Swings and roundabouts. Oh, I'm brilliant. Also, if you lose to Nick now, you're getting railed.
I would really like John Adam in a bowl. I think it's a wee bit like what we're getting finally this weekend with Brady Rogers.
Yeah, but yeah, we just it's a matchup we haven't seen enough of.
Yeah, we've
really.
been waiting a while, and as John keeps reminding us, no fault of his. But yeah, I think it's been too long coming. If we don't get it this year, I feel that either we won't get it or when we do get it, the two squads will be so different.
Yeah, I mean,
that
Super
it won't
Super
It
Bowl.
won't really feel like what we were looking for.
Super Bowl. It's really weird. It does feel like a Brady Breeze thing. Super Bowl 5, John played me, and he was Seattle, but he beat Adam in the title game. Super Bowl
My
6.
best game.
Super Bowl 6. John's Packers didn't turn up for the postseason anyway. The Saints went to the bowl and won it, and last year John's Texans went, and Adam was nowhere to be seen. So the two of them seem to be allergic to playing each other in the final game of the season. They have met in a title game before, and we all know that John's motivation for going to the AFC was he wants to beat Adam on the last Sunday of the season. And since he's gone, they've both went to a bowl and won one, but couldn't face the other one. This has to be the year, right? I
Well,
know
they've
that
won the last two
the
bowls.
Giants are sitting there just like, keep talking, you shit. We're gonna play spoiler. Someone has to play spoiler. Someone always does.
Yeah, I'd like it to be this year finally.
That's all I have to say. I have nothing else to say in it. I just want Adam to know I'll be there.
Question for you, which I feel like you may have already answered. JJ Watt is the current Pete Rozelle winner, and he's not a Texan anymore. So let's just go on a wild assumption here and say you make the bowl and say you win it. I'm going to force you to not say Deshaun Watson because I truly think it's him as well. Who wins the Pete Rozelle trophy then this year? Because JJ Watt can't defend it. If not Deshaun Watson.
After I pick him off, after he picks off Love 3 times.
3 times?
Nah, probably 2.
As I say, if you'd have said 2, even I'd have left it, I'd have been okay with it. 3 seems excessive.
Yeah, 3 does seem excessive. I wouldn't do that to Adam. He needs to get some consolation scores.
This is great crack. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm very excited for the bowl now.
I'm playing right now to get the bowl, so.
Yeah. So next week, we're gonna whatever next week turns out to be, maybe 3 days from now, maybe 10 days from now. Now we're set to have Bears coach Niall on the podcast. Thanks for being on, John. John, you're going live very shortly. Who are you playing this week? It's Nick.
I don't think Nick agreed.
To play.
Yeah.
I also don't think he agreed to play. So I was like, have you spoken to Nick?
Yeah.
It's probably
No.
an issue of availability more than anything else. But
Yeah, he's a busy man. He's
We
a
are
grown-up.
getting thingy. We are getting
he
Denver,
is
San
a grown
Francisco.
up. That's
at
pretty
some,
much the.
Denver, San Francisco is on at some point tonight.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I thought in that case I will depart.
If the Niners lose, by the way, that's them eliminated. They will join the Eagles. Can't believe the Eagles are the only team eliminated. Right. Yeah, we'll stream live for like another 3 or 4 minutes because I got to go down and switch everything off. But John, absolute blast having you on. That was great, bud.
Yeah, cheers for coming on, mate.
Au revoir, lads. Au revoir.
Best of luck with the rest of the season. You make sure you get to that bowl.
I'll be there.